Gentlemen and female gentlemen, we have something of an episode on our hands today. This is my co-host of my newest venture, the Unhinged talk show, Hermes. She's tolerable sometimes.
He's lying to you.
And here I am, me. So I made this joke in the first episode of our podcast, whatever you want to call this venture.
First episode.
I made a joke.
What, are we not allowed to say podcast anymore? What do you mean?
What's wrong with podcast?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you keep saying venture. It's a podcast. We hanging out. We chilling.
Not a podcast, okay? Podcasts are supposed to be fun and wholesome and not stressful. And you are in the call. Therefore, it is not wholesome nor unstressful.
I am the embodiment of all the words you just said, collided into one creature.
Anyway, she's crazy. And I have to say, personally, that on the first episode of our podcast that we did together, I made a joke saying that there's about a 40% chance that Hermes will backstab me.
50.
And then we bumped it up to 50. But ironically,
yeah, because I was gonna fuck him. Yeah, because I was gonna fuck him and his wife, so it went up to 50.
Are you eating? Mm-hmm. You were I was literally talking to you for like the last hour. You weren't eating. We start recording and you're eating.
Pretty much.
It's unbelievable.
It's that kind of. It's gonna be that kind of. Everybody take notes, please. I'm just leading the pack. It's gonna be this kind of episode, guys. Everybody get your popcorn. I got sunflower seeds. Oh, no, my bad. I'm sorry. I lied to you. They're pumpkin seeds that I'm munching on. So, you know, any kind of seed, any kind of popcorn, either or.
Pumpkin just seeds are literally the worst seeds.
Are you
Watermelon seeds are better. Sunflower seeds are better. And you went with pumpkin?
There's no fucking way you put and eat and digest fucking watermelon seeds? What do you mean?
Not from the watermelon. Like, they're dried and they're Could we please get on topic for a second here for just a minute? That's why we call it the Unhinged podcast, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, I don't know how this happens, but every day that we are set to like record an episode of the podcast, something big happens right before.
Dude,
last time I set up to record with Hermes, and Mr. Beast calls me out of nowhere. And this time, we're set to record, and, you know, the fated Mutahar post-Nux clarity video drops. Like
yeah, nuke. And to just make a caveat moment here, you are literally the embodiment of bros before hoes. I want to just make that very clear. This is the second time you have put bros before me, aka the hoe in this situation. Right, and I'm starting to have feelings about this.
There are some things that are more important, okay? Like,
yeah, the bros, apparently.
It has nothing to do with gender, okay? All right? If a female friend of mine made a hit piece on me, I would probably deal with that first, too.
Oh my goodness. How they bitches better not.
Oh my
Dude,
God. Anyway,
we gotta see
can we please?
That's my spot. I get the hit. I get the next hit piece.
Please don't. This isn't a competition. It's not fun for one of us.
And that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
You fucking monster. Okay, anyway, so there I was, minding my own business. Oh my God.
Bro just rubbed one out for the night. He was ready to...
Yeah. So, anyway, I'm going to try to do my best to do a TLDR here of the story. So, I did speak to Mutahar just now for like 2 hours. And basically, we talked things out to a large degree. But I'm going to do like the TLDR whole story here. First and foremost, if you're here just for like the Cliff's Notes answer, Muta apologized. We are still friends. That's the Cliff Notes answer. It was a pretty sucky moment there.
Well, wrap it up. I have no opinions. I have no feel. No, of course I do. Okay, yeah. Anyways, chat, after the TLDR, now we're going into story mode. We're going into novel mode. So what hasn't been touched on is literally when the hit piece came out, I fucking flooded the shit out of his DMs.
Dog, not just you. I got a lot of DMs. Like, so anyway, let me put some perspective on this whole thing, okay? Because the last thing I want is this video to send Muta any hate either, okay? I don't want any hate to come from here at all. Listen, I love me some chaos now and again, but it was a pretty rough moment there for a minute. You know, Muta's one of my best friends, so that's pretty fucking crazy that this went down.
With friends like that, who needs enemies?
Shut up! Okay.
Dude, I have my work cut out for me. Shit, dude. How am I supposed to be more evil? What?
So, basically, Mutahar has been getting an incredible amount of hate as of late for associating with me. Now, I used to do these videos back in the day where we would all get into a call together like 3-4 years ago. And we would all get, and then we would literally shitpost on the internet. Like, we would make fun of hentai and stuff like that. And I just want to make this clear. Before my videos, there was something of fate and myth. You may have even heard of it, Hermes. It was called Boku no Pico. Are you familiar?
Maybe.
So Boku no Pico was trending everywhere because PewDiePie fucking reacted to Boku no Pico. His video's still up and has 14 million views. Like, like everyone and their mother reacted to Boku no Pico. Now Boku no Pico is it's lolly porn to the extreme. It's literally a whole family affair because it's a whole family that's having sex with children in this fucking show. It is a nightmare. Like Boku no Pico.
I probably don't actually know it. Yeah, I was probably playing video games at the time.
Like, but the thing is, everyone reacted to it. I never reacted to it. Like, somehow that was too weird for me. Okay, looking back, I don't know how that happened because I was making some pretty wild content back then. But for some reason,
the irony.
Everyone the irony. Everyone reacted to Boku no Pico, right? PewDiePie, everyone. Now Boku no Pico, that's lolly Shota stuff, like to the extreme. Muta said in his video that anything in a high school setting is lolly, and that's just obviously wrong. Lolly is if the character looks either like a petite woman or like a child. In my opinion, petite women, lolly stuff, whatever. I don't really care. The child stuff rubs me the wrong way for sure. But adult-looking women in a high school being lolly, bro, is the whole fucking My Hero Academia community pedophiles now because someone uploaded, I don't know, Ochako hentai to Rule 34 or something? You know, like, obviously, if the character looks like an adult, I don't, like, it's not lolly. That's just a fact. That's not a opinion. But anyway, Muta was getting flamed for associating with me. People were calling him a pedophile. And that's awful, by the way. That's really fucking bad. And it put him in a really bad headspace. And I hated that it was coming from me. To the point that before this video or anything came out, I messaged Muta and I told the guy, bro, I totally get you. If you want to stop associating with me publicly and you want to completely cut me off publicly, I hate that you're getting hate because you're associated with someone as controversial as myself who did the unthinkable, being shit posting on the internet 3 years ago.
Yeah, you know my feelings on that one too. I also had a very long novel-sized conversation about that particular statement too.
True. You put me through the ringer whenever I do something altruistic. It's not fair. It's not fair.
Wow, look at you being a wholesome, good guy, trying to be always considerate of other people. Yeah, you need to stop that.
I mean, you'll notice I definitely stopped collabing to a large degree just because I hate that other people get hate for me, like, associating with me. And
I know.
The thing is, and this is what's the craziest thing in the world, like, I'll make videos criticizing DEI in video games or whatever, and I'm literally called a Nazi. Not exaggerating that word. And, like, from someone whose grandparents are Holocaust survivors, who grew up on Holocaust stories, to be called the Nazi is pretty fucked up. Like, it's pretty crazy. But
the internet doesn't care. People are gonna hate you. People are gonna love you.
And I have gotten to the point that I can definitely see people shitting on me and just not caring. I make content out of it at this point. Like, I don't care that a couple of brainlets on Reddit or Twitter are gonna fucking make fun of me, call me a Nazi or whatever. I completely don't associate with that shit. And see,
as you should. It's the best mental.
My friends know who I am. My family knows who I am. I don't give a shit if some random people want to cancel me for that.
Your friends asterisks.
You are literally evil. Literally
I know.
evil. All right, this is squashing beef. Okay. So anyway, this got really bad. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just laughing.
Yeah, I don't know why you're here. But anyway, so...
you know exactly why I'm
much
here.
Worse because Hassan Piker, everyone's favorite socialist millionaire, made a... insinuated that Mutahar was a pedophile for associating with me. Now that's not random, invisible internet people anymore. That's now a content creator with a large audience with probably overlap in their audience because it's a pretty big guy.
With a very vocal. He's very vocal too.
Yeah, he does have vocals. So he did,
as we all hear,
so he made
all the time,
something like that, which I think really was the thing that pushed Muta over the edge. To a large extent. Now you have not just invisible internet people, but you also have content creators. Now I said to Mutahar in a call just now, sorry if I'm messing up with the timeline. It's been a pretty stressful day.
Understandable.
Yeah, I just opened up YouTube to a 40-minute hit piece on me from one of my friends.
Not even well done. That's what angers me too.
Whatever, we could get to specifics because, like, I do want to clear my name on a couple of things, and I know people are going to be upset that I'm calling it a hit piece, but the fact that all these old dramas, like the Taiga drama and the Shadman drama, like, these were brought up and have really nothing to do with anything. Like, the fact that all this is brought up and, like, really makes it look like some sort of hit piece, and comparing me to people like Mama Max, like... But anyway, whatever. I don't want to send any hate to Muta. I'm just trying to get the headspace here correct. I'm trying to fucking tell the story because people are going to be asking me nonstop. People are already asking me nonstop. When am I responding? What am I saying? What's the story? So I'm trying to do this in a way that does address the situation because people will never stop bothering me and Muta. So I'm just doing this to do my best after a very stressful day. So anyway.
Don't worry. And I will also have opinions.
Oh God.
But
yeah,
now.
The Hermes opinions are coming probably. So anyway,
definitely.
So Hassan makes this verifiably false, slanderous statement insinuating that Muta is a pedophile by being in these collabs with me. me in the past, which is fucking awful and brutal and despicable of Hassan. And I told Muta when we talked about it, I said, you're gonna take Hassan's word calling you a pedophile with this much weight? Hassan, the guy that supports terrorists on Twitch, that advocates for the murder of Israeli babies because he calls them settler babies, the guy that denies rapes that happened in October 7th when the UN confirmed that there were rapes that happened in Israel, he's gonna deny that shit. Now, this isn't me coming here to start talking politics. I think everyone with 2 brain cells can agree that innocent people dying is bad. I think that's a pretty based opinion in general.
It's a pretty universal opinion, I feel like, yes.
I would think so. But you're really gonna take that guy, that slimy motherfucker that I have videos on, that if you want, you can watch those videos to get my opinion on that. But that guy is the guy that you're gonna say, oh, he called me a pedophile, so now I have to defend myself? Like, that's the guy? And whatever. Obviously, I don't want to start some sort of Muta Hassan beef, even though that's already kind of going on. And Hassan could beef with me if he wants. I don't really care.
Well, Hassan's not gonna beef just with you because he's very aware that it's not gonna fucking phase you. Like, you've made it blatantly clear that you're like, whatever. It doesn't matter. So Hassan's gonna start beefing with people around you. Like, that's just, it's a tactic.
But Hassan's big tactic, whenever someone criticizes him, the first thing he does is basically slander them to completely misrepresent who they are to his audience, so that when he attacks them, he's already slandered them. Like, there's this commentary guy, Nicholas Diorio, who said something negative about Hassan, and Hassan's like, isn't he the guy that makes alt-right content? Which is like, no, he doesn't. But, like, you know, once you already put someone into perspective to be that guy, it's much easier to tear them down. So, like, Muta criticizes him for promoting terrorism propaganda on Twitch, and his response is, isn't that the pedophile? Well, he didn't say it in those words, but isn't that the guy that watched lolly porn in the Discord calls? You know, that, like, you know, that insinuation, obviously. So, but anyway, with all that shit going down, and people criticizing Muta for his association with me, people basically... I don't want to, I'm not trying to stir the pot here or anything, but a lot of people stop criticizing me for these things because they see it's like, it's not working. I'm going to make content out of it. Like, yes, I shit posted online. Yes, I addressed all this on my, if you want to go watch it, I made a 10 years on YouTube video. It is up where I addressed my mindset, why I've changed my style of content, why I don't do those thumbnails anymore, why I don't do those type of videos anymore, why I don't like doing that shit. I have grown and all that. But that said, it was shit posting on the internet. And let's not get it twisted. It was not anything that wasn't that, obviously.
Yeah, I mean,
like, bro,
I think
the Boku no Pico era was worse than anything I've ever done.
I think that's kind of the big part about, like, why you can kind of, like, when you get hit with stuff nowadays, like, it doesn't really stick anymore because you've go figure, apparently you're an adult in a sea of children because fucking you've literally owned up to all that shit. Like, literally, you've already had so many conversations about acknowledging that
misleading people and hiding evidence and deleting shit, when in actuality, I've addressed everything. Everything.
Yeah. Well, and the fact of the matter is, it's very obviously publicly showcased too, where anybody
you can't say that I'm manipulating people into fucking doing this shit when the videos are all public.
Yeah.
I've changed some past thumbnails that I no longer stand by or want on my channel, obviously.
Yeah, which I think is just normal kind of situation. Like, if you're like,
I have like
you know what, that's
3,000 videos on YouTube. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, the fact that, and I mean, there's so many places to start, but literally anybody can look at your stuff 3 years ago and then come to the modern day and see that you've not only acknowledged that some of that stuff was extremely cringe, like, you've literally turned over a completely new leaf, which is a lot more than apparently a lot of fucking people are willing to do in the content creation world nowadays, where they're just like, they want to just expunge it, pretend it never happened, and then if something came up, they, like, make this whole fucking novel about the situation, and they try to, I don't get this whole situation where everybody's trying to be angels and saints. Nobody's an angel. Nobody's a saint. So why is this phase even fucking happening right now? Why is the timeline like this? Like, we're all fucking human. Well, you guys are. I'm a god. But the point is, the flaws are what make us who we are. It's what creates who we are.
True,
none of us are perfect.
The way I see it, there's definitely there's a tier list when it comes to flaws. Like, a lot of things are more important.
Well,
than others. For example,
course. But
again, I don't want to do a tier list on who's a bigger criminal, EDP 445 or Mr. Beast. Okay, that's not the point. But the point is, as far as like the criticisms about me, like, I've messed up. Like, he brought up the Taiga thing in his video, which I apologize for. He showed the wrong apology. He showed me talking about a tangent, not the actual apologies that I made about it. And not the clip of Taiga accepting the apology from his stream either, which again, I like.
Wait, Taiga actually accepted your apology in his stream?
Yes, it was very nice of him, but he actually did do that. And
wow.
The irony also of Muta defending Taiga against evil me when Muta thinks that people that like lolly stuff are pedophiles, and Taiga is a known commissioner of lolly stuff. So like it's like you gotta really wrap your head around the purpose of all of this, and really I think it's because Muta felt fucking awful seeing the word pedophile next to his name, and honestly I get it, it's pretty awful.
Yeah, like
sucks that I like even was some sort of catalyst for this sort of criticism. I feel like people realize, oh wait, we can't really criticize Nux for this because it doesn't really affect him, so we're just gonna criticize his friends.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. Like these tactics, this shit that is going on, this is high school level shit. We have all been in high school before. We've dealt with like the nasty cheerleaders and the fucking jocks, and you know, we've dealt with all this. So like these tactics aren't anything brand new. And yeah, my heart goes out to Mutahar for having to see something like that. But that's literally where the internet is nowadays. Like, where has he been this entire time?
Honestly, like, Mutahar, and I firmly believe this, Mutahar is a really great guy. He's a great guy, and he's a much more empathetic person than I am in general. And I think he takes things more to heart because he genuinely wants to be a good person and a beacon that other people can, well, I don't want to say a beacon for people to emulate, but he definitely wants to be a force of good in the world. And when people are going to say, like, call him a pedophile, he's not going to feel like that force of good. And that's
like, okay. Should I interject now? Is it my turn to talk? Because
all right, anyway, I just wanted to say one thing. Muta did take the video down. All right, so it really, I guess, whatever. I don't want to say
no, not necessarily. Whatever damage was done, absolutely. Like, okay, all right, my turn. My turn.
Talk,
now, I do want to preface exactly what Nux said in the beginning. The world is full of hate and cruelty and blah, blah, blah at this point. Going and attacking anybody, and I don't know why anybody would try to listen to me and then go attack anybody else, but who knows? In case there's somebody out there that wants to do it, don't. The world has enough hate in it. Don't attack Mutahar. Like, I actually loved Mutahar's content as well. Like, partially why I was so upset is because I also liked Mutahar's content. Like, it just, like, seemed like he had fallen so far from what I had ever seen of him. Like, I had assumed that he was a guy, he kind of oozed that idea that he was a guy that really cared about his friendships and everything, and then to see him so blatantly,
he was
pretty
on a
much
downward spiral. It was he's in a, I think, pretty bad headspace right now, and it's
well, and that's what I'm super curious about. Obviously, I don't know Mutahar. He didn't fucking call me and like have a conversation or anything of the sort. So this is all just speculation from okay, guys, I am the perspective of the person outside looking in right now. And I see something like that. And this isn't something that just comes from Mutahar. This is something I see happening in content creation in general. People are so quick to make content out of fucking backstabbing. Like, they want to get the multi-camera angle vision of them shanking somebody in the back and then twisting the blade and then kicking them into the grave.
I do appreciate the entertainment of a nice backstabbing now and again. But
you're the one that's always getting backstabbed.
Sometimes it's a little too close to home, you know. Listen, I'll make videos on other people's downfalls. I guess I should make videos on my own at some point, right?
Yeah, at this point, you might as well just start farming your own content.
I mean, that's what we're literally doing right now.
Yeah, hey. But my point is, it breaks my brain. When that video came up, the first thing I thought is...
Well, the first thing I thought was, holy shit, banger title. That was the first thing I thought.
The post-Nux clarity. Yeah. That kind of did hit hard.
The second thing I thought, it was like 38 minutes long. That was the second thing that I thought. And I was like, wait, this isn't distancing myself. This is more.
That was a full Breaking Bad episode right there. He went full Breaking Bad on you. Like, straight up. But my point is...
the third thing that I thought was, fuck, he wore the Sonichu medallion. Oh, it's over. It's over.
See, I don't know that. I don't know that reference, actually.
Okay. No, you're not missing out. Moving on.
Okay. Like, so here's the thing, though. When I saw that, I was like, why is this not a conversation that began with him calling you? Like, is the world so fucking different nowadays? Because back in my day, now, I've had many back in my days, but back in my day, when you have a problem with one of your friends, or key point, somebody who is supposed to be your friend, you give them a phone call and you say, hey, bitch, I'm pissed at you. We need to talk this out one way or another. Like, we have a conversation. And the candidness is something you get rewarded as being a friend with somebody. Usually friends have that certain level of candid where you kind of start bypassing that like bullshit back and forth
obviously he should have, and he regrets it, and I don't know what to tell you. It's pretty unfortunate that didn't happen.
Yeah, it is absolutely unfortunate that it didn't happen. And the fact of the matter is,
I think it was okay, again, I'm trying my best here, because obviously I am pretty biased in this situation, but I'm trying my best to rationalize from the perspective of every morning, wakes up, opens Reddit for some God knows reason that they felt the need to do such a thing in this hypothetical scenario, and someone on Reddit calls me Jeffrey Epstein, and then calls Mutahar Ghislaine Maxwell, his partner in crime, right? When you see that, it hurts. It hurts. You don't want to talk to the Jeffrey Epstein in this analogy, which is, by the way, slanderously despicable, because, dog, I shitposted online, okay? Yeah. And the funniest thing is, like, people are there's this one clip of Turkey Tom saying he was uncomfortable that I showed him a dog hentai. I did not! That was not a hentai that I showed Turkey Tom. That was something that everyone was talking about because it was an anime that aired on national television. That was not a hentai. Shit. That was fucking disturbing, and everyone talked about it.
Yeah. Well, and here's another fucking issue I have, like, in that statement. Yeah. I have never been in a situation where I never felt like if you legitimately did something that was uncomfortable to me, I have never felt that I couldn't express that to you. Like, I've never felt that I couldn't be like, hey, Nux, you crossed a line. Like, don't involve me in that.
This isn't in my videos, obviously, but in almost every single one of my videos, even when I spring shit on people on purpose, I always ask them, are you comfortable with me including this in the video? Are you comfortable with being in this video? Are you comfortable with this topic? Yeah. I know the topics are surprises in the videos. The way I used to record these collabs are I would get a bunch of people together and I would mention the topic of the video. And and everyone would be like, oh God, like the topic is crazy. I sprung it on them. And then almost every single time I would ask people, are you comfortable with this? If not, I'll change the topic. I have a safer one in reserve just in case. And then people would say they're okay with it, and then we would proceed. Obviously, that part would be cut out of the video because that's not entertaining. But almost every single time, I would actually ask people if they're comfortable with it. And I remember there was one time that I actually did have to use the reserve because one of the people was not comfortable with the topic, and I therefore did change it. I can tell you who and when after the podcast. I don't want to. Start anything, but that did happen. So it's not like I obfuscated and hid shit and manipulated and I mean, I think the reason why Mood is getting so much backlash is because this is all public. Like, I never lied about anything.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of a reflection more on Muda than anything else at the end of the day. Like, I just don't understand why somebody who has been in the gaming sphere, specifically in the gaming sphere, trust me, I've been in the gaming sphere for a very, very, very long time, is so thin-skinned over some Reddit post. Like, get off social media. Like, honestly, I hope in that conversation you had with him, he has acknowledged the root of the problem. And that's that social media is designed nowadays to literally get you to be angry. Perpetually. Like, it wants you to feel bad. It wants you to spiral. It wants you to be angry because that keeps you, it hooks you in. Like, there's literally research going on about the fucking mental effects and how bad this shit is. Yeah. Fucking get off social media if you can't handle it. But at the end of the day, he literally allowed somebody online to affect him so much that he couldn't even give you the courtesy of a phone call first.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't think most people would be able to understand what it's like, and I don't want to say this from like a high horse position. But people don't know what it's like to get shit on by thousands of people online. I don't think the human brain is designed for that, and I don't think evolution reached that point yet, that people are ready for that. And I agree, you're thin-skinned. Look, I have been getting hate for a very, very long time. Literally, as long as I've been on the internet, I've been getting hate because I'm a troll. I'm a fucking internet troll. I've been trolling people.
But everybody gets hate on the internet. Everybody.
But Mutahar is not a troll. Okay?
But he still covers really dark topics in like... really dark topics and themes. You are, unless he's only scrolled like the top 10 of his thing, there is 100% chance that there is somebody in those things that is like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? This shit is fucked up.
Obviously, that is the case. Obviously, that is the case. And look, I'm not... obviously, he shouldn't have made the video. I'm not defending him or his choices. I'm just saying that mentally, it does fuck with you.
Yeah, well, and listen, Nux, I do want to make clear, like, you're a good guy. You care about your friends. You care a lot about your friends. And it's okay that you're, like, taking this position because you still care about Mutahar. I'm sure you do. But I care about you, so I'm going to be pissed because that stuff pisses me off so much. Not just in your particular circumstance, in the circumstance in general. Everybody's been betrayed. Everybody's had a friend that they've cared for, that they've, loved, not been in love. I think people love their friends. I really do. So, like, you have that friend that you care for, you love them, and they're just a part of their life. And then all of a sudden, some outside fucking force comes in and influences that person, and in some fucking crazy scenario in their head, they get it twisted and they forget like all the good times that they've had with you, all because of one Joe Schmo bullshit situation.
Well,
and then they can't even give you courtesy of like a phone call. Like, I think everybody can relate to that.
Everything you're describing is very relatable and cool, but unlike some other situation where someone gets backstabbed and therefore they are arch nemesis, I completely forgive Mutahar for this shit.
Yeah.
Obviously,
of
I don't
course
want
you
anything
do.
to be sent his way. Obviously,
of course you do.
He is my friend, and
yeah.
Obviously, don't want any of that. It's a fucking awful situation for me.
I mean,
and for Muta.
Yeah.
True. But I think we can channel all of this negative energy and unite against Hassan. No, that was a joke.
I'm gonna get.
I was kidding.
Hassan's gonna look at me next. He's gonna be like, "She's barely blossomed. She's a seedling. Attack! Attack my people!"
No, he's not gonna do that. Okay. He's never gonna mention me because he can't do anything to me. Probably. I mean, our audiences are different. But the example I gave Muta about like random comments online, I was like, all right. If you're gonna take every comment online seriously, like some guy calls you a pedophile and then you start thinking you're a pedophile, like people use crazy shit online. So I use the Nazi analogy first in regards to myself. Like, people calling me a Nazi has got to be the most ironic shit in the universe. Like, here I am talking to my grandfather, Holocaust survivor, and people are calling me a Nazi when I grew up on Holocaust stories. Like, that's not gonna fucking do shit to me. It's not gonna make me start thinking I'm a Nazi, obviously.
Right.
But the craziest thing is, the mainstream media calls Trump voters Nazis. That's over 50% of the American population. If you're going to take every insult online and labeling online seriously, then holy fuck, you're surrounded by Nazis.
Well, it's the thing, like, just, and this is another thing that kind of blows my mind. Yeah, this is another thing that kind of blows my mind, is the fact that everybody, and I don't think it's literally a surprise to no one nowadays, but words really have lost a lot of their meaning. Especially because of social media. People have been dropping, like, they drop pedophile, they drop fucking Nazi, they drop, hey, Nux, I don't know if you're aware, but I'm a female, I tend to play video games. I have heard every single kind of rape comment that you can even imagine and beyond.
Yeah,
it's because... yeah, and that's because I'm actually good at a video game. Imagine with, but that's my thing, like, none of this is a surprise to literally anybody online, except apparently Mutahar, because why, like...
I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. I am shocked.
As you should be shocked. That was...
Pretty bad. It's a pretty bad thing. All right. It's a pretty bad thing. All said, it's a pretty bad thing.
That should have been a phone call. That should have been an adult conversation. That should have been a phone call.
On that video was, this should have been an email. That was the top comment on his video.
Well, yeah, it should have been an email. Dude, his freaking entire comment session was shredding the ever-living crap out of him. And quite frankly, I agree with, like, literally everybody in it. It literally should never have been brought into public. It should have been a adult conversation. Literally, call you, hey, listen, I'm having some problems. Like, just tell him. Like, I have never in any of my 2 years, by the way, everybody, I've known this motherfucker, and holy shit. Like, I have never, ever felt like I couldn't just tell you something. Like, much to your dismay, I'm sure, at times when you wake up to 100+ messages. But, like, I tell you when I'm pissed off. I tell you how I feel about things. And I tell you when I'm in a good mood. Like, and there's, in those moments where I'm actually upset, or I'm upset at you specifically for something you've did, you have a conversation back with me. Like, there's never been a doubt in my mind that I couldn't have an adult conversation with you.
I mean, the irony is, and I'm comfortable to say this because I know it's true, but the irony is, unlike a lot of other people, I'm not like sitting here terrified that some shit's gonna leak. Because I literally have never sexted anyone online ever in my life. Forget minors, people. I have never sexted anyone. All right.
Don't lie to them. I just sent you the most beautiful.
That's you sending shit to me is not the same thing. I do not reciprocate, Vixen.
Oh, Chad, you should have seen the ERP I sent him recently. Oh my gosh, that would have been a bestseller.
Just kidding. It's not real. It's fake. Anyway,
I bet.
So I'm not like sitting here
guys. No, hold on, guys. Important break. Break from all the shit. Nux, I'm gonna leak some DMs, guys. Nux admitted that he's my sub. He's submissive to me. He's straight up
subscription to her on Twitch.
Nope.
That is
you don't need to add that context.
Okay, moving on.
That's
so now,
absolutely.
Obviously, the irony is the entire internet. When this shit broke, I think everyone kind of understood this to be the same thing as I do.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not as rationally as I do, but you know.
Or as caveat.
Except for Keemstar, who insinuated I'm a pedophile. You can't make
as
this
big.
Shit up. He's like, I always knew it. Check his hard drive. Yeah, I love this guy. He just keeps winning, Keemstar.
Caveat is not many people would look at it as big-hearted as you. I would declare that I'm the rational person here. Oh. I think you should be upset, but
maybe I was upset
because
maybe I was upset for hours.
Hours, honestly.
Maybe I was fuming and debating what kind of video I should make to retaliate. Debating whether I should just completely debunk every point or only take the high road, and maybe I shouldn't do anything. And honestly, thank God Muta deleted the video and called me, or I don't know. Maybe we would have a different ending to this story.
Yeah, I mean, probably. I was pretty upset. No, I'm not gonna lie.
A lot of DMs.
I was really upset, guys.
I got a lot of DMs. What did I answer? You sent me like a whole fucking wall of text, and I'm like, lol.
Yeah, you literally said LOL. Bro, I come in here. I'm like fuming. I'm like, oh, I was like, have you seen the, I was like, what the fuck? Like, it was a roller coaster because it started off like tame because I like just, you see the title and you're all like, all right, what am I getting into? Like, oh, yay, some other person is trying to fucking backstab Nux. Great, wonderful. What's this about? So like, it starts off tame and then I like watch it and literally you can like see the parts in the fucking video I'm getting to because I'm like, my text is getting bigger, the walls of text the lines are getting longer, like the novel is being made real time, bro. And then he comes in, he like wakes up fucking from fucking masturbating or whatever the fuck he does in bed, and then he was like, LOL. Like, I was like, what do you mean LOL? Have an opinion here, have a feeling here, react please.
Yeah, so you know, it was a very stressful moment. Not the first time I've had a similar situation, but I am grateful Mutahar is, I think, a much better person than the people who have backstabbed me in the past.
We'll fucking see. I mean, because, like, here's the fucking issue here. This is the big, well, okay, I have a whole wrapping ball of big issues. It's a fucking rubber band ball of issues at this point. He did these things.
So one thing that I do want to say, like, also to be clear, I know Muta definitely didn't say this in the video, but the video's impression is saying Nux is a pedophile, right? If he's saying I'm not a pedophile because I didn't know what Nux was doing, well, what does that imply? And like I got some good pedo comments already rolling in, so
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you will.
The video was only up for, what, like 7-8 hours or something? And,
well, this is my big, this is another.
Trending on YouTube and on Twitter, and people were going, you know.
This is a facet that really, like, this is the other facet that really starts, like, is grinding my gears here. Like, people fucking do these content, like, hit pieces, trying to destroy people. I mean, it's not just limited to you. There's other people that obviously get them too. Like, but the point is, these hit pieces come out, and then they're like, oops, I'm sorry. And then they bring it down. And that's okay. That's good. That's fine and dandy. But they But the problem with this scenario, this whole strategy, is the damage is fucking done. You put it online. People have downloaded that. People have saved that. They're going to clip it out of context. They're going to spin their own fucking story.
I'm a pragmatic individual, okay? And the way I see this shit is, okay, it's done. It's in the past. Now what? So from the perspective of someone that has already dropped the Mutahar Nux hit piece video, whatever, he took it down. He apologized. What else is he supposed to do?
Make another fucking video. I firmly believe. Listen, I firmly believe that if you drag this into the public perception, if you bring your community into it and you take the fucking shot, then you need to grow a pair and then do the resolution video. Mutahar should say, hey, Nux, would you like to come on my channel? I would like to talk about this. Like, what I did was really wrong. I shouldn't have did that. I want to show to my community that this is getting resolved, and I would like it if you were there. And then it's on you if you say yes or no at the end of the day. But I'm a big proprietor of step one. All this shit should have been solved like adults privately to begin with. But the moment that you decide to make a huge ass fucking video and release it into the world, which people will download, people will save, they're gonna clip out of context. The damage is done.
The moment he uploaded that video, I downloaded it because I thought he would delete it.
Yeah, like the damage is done, and you're not the only one. Like, damage is done. He needs to now not just push this under the rug. He needs to be an adult and take responsibility for the role he played in this, and he needs to have an adult conversation now publicly, because he made the problem public to begin with, publicly, to at least show his community.
You're arguing morals here, okay?
Yes, I fucking am.
I argue that there's something. Let me try to put this into another perspective, okay? Again, I do think that definitely that would be very cool and pog and appreciated and all that thing. As an outside perspective, and I'm glad you brought that up because I'm sure comments are going to be saying this anyway, so I'm glad that I can talk about it. From the outside perspective,
you're
I get
welcome.
why
I'm
people
amazing.
think that. But the way I always viewed like these internet beefs, I always viewed them much more personal. Yes, they're public and ugly, but they're also very personal. And
well, yeah.
That's
part of the problem.
I personally am not demanding that. So I
of course you're not demanding that.
Necessarily need that. If I apologize to someone privately and they accept my apology, I don't know if I need to do a public flagellation if they don't want me to or expect me to.
Well, yeah, but still him, even, like I said though, him offering it to you and you saying no is a whole other like thing. That's like fine because like you can have those feelings and everything like that, but
this is going to be, whatever. The more it's dragged out, the worse it'll be for Muta, and that's sucks. Again, I've moved away from a lot of collabs because I personally don't like when my friends get hate because of me.
I know.
It sucks.
Guys.
It's really annoying. I don't mind when people shit on me, dude. Like, the Jaden Animation stuff is hilarious. That, oh god, he reacted to a Jaden Animations video? He's parasocial. Dude, that shit's awesome. Okay? That's hilarious. Okay, so I gave Muta this analogy. I'll say this too. Like where my headspace was at with like this kind of thing. Okay, so I never said
waking up to that
in a video, but this was very funny. So I was in Israel, and I opened my phone and I'm looking at like the Jaden Animations cancellation tweets. Nux reacted to a Jaden Animations video. He's parasocial and probably a stalker, right? Like 100,000 likes, and I'm like, oh shit. And then a siren goes off that a missile is coming, and I have 60 seconds to get to a bomb shelter. And I go to the bomb shelter. And while I'm in there, I open my phone, and my phone was on the Jaden post. And I was like, this does not matter. I was like, wow, this this is the most irrelevant shit in the universe.
Yeah. Well, look at that.
Like, it really puts things into perspective, and not to get into too many details.
Impending death will do that.
I do appreciate my audience a lot, the people that watch my videos.
Yeah.
I appreciate my friends. I appreciate my family. I appreciate like the people that are important in my life. These are the people whose opinions about you matter. The random guy on the internet that calls you a pedophile, fuck that guy.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm saying, that's why I take my stance.
By because the way, Mutahar is a friend of mine.
That's my point.
And
Mutahar is your friend, and that's why I take my stance.
Tense, and I know he felt really pressured into publicly burning this bridge, but he's a friend of mine, and I don't want to add burden onto my friend's shoulders.
Yeah, and literally, community, like Nux literally had a conversation with me regarding the podcast. Like, he gave me a full-blown speech about like being like, to help me understand, quote unquote, like what it might be like collaborating with you. Like, you care a lot about your friends and like their well-being and stuff. And I respect that. I really do. But I also think like it's not okay for people to do this to you either. Like,
well, that doesn't mean two wrongs don't make a right. I do expect justice to exist in this world. I love me some chaos, and I love me some justice. I love me some good karma now and again. But when I see someone else wronged, I want things to work out so that it makes it right for them. When I am wronged, if I am satisfied, I don't need any flagellation going on anywhere else. Right?
Yeah, but
like, if someone wrongs me and I don't feel, and I fucking want them to burn for it, like, I'm gonna laugh when they have a downfall. But when someone wrongs me and they, for whatever reason, I don't know what kind of mental gymnastics went into making that video, but I obviously don't want any harm or hate or anything to go to Muta's way.
Well, yeah, obviously.
And, you know, like, the reality is this video is definitely more, it was a 38-minute hit piece on me. And it did more damage to Muta than it ever could to me.
Did it, though?
Yes, it did. Yeah, 100% did.
Okay.
Because
I'll take your word for that.
People looking at this situation, they're going to be like, why did he make this video? What was the point of this video? And
I'm sure a lot. Dude, like I said, his comment section pretty much embodied pretty much everything I've said so far. Like, it didn't need to be public. Why was it public? He's literally backstabbing his friend over a Reddit comment. Like, everybody in the comments said literally why I'm upset, too. Like, and it's just...
So, that said, I do think that it definitely did more damage to him than it did to me. So, why should I sit here and expect more retribution and shit?
It's not about retribution. Like, that's the thing. It's taking responsibility. And I think that's a thing that a lot of content creators love to skip out on because they think a simple fucking apology text message tweet is enough. Like, again, I said, people should be adults and just talk about this shit in a private setting, a fucking phone call, all right? It shouldn't be that complicated. But people get it, like, content creators get it in their head to bring it out into the public. The moment you bring it out into the public, you need to take responsibility if you fucking backpedal.
On principle, I agree with you. I really do. I swear, I agree with you. And this is the logic I would use as an outside commentator. But when I was the one that was in this position, and I am someone that's wronged, I feel like it's fair for me to decide how it should be made right.
Well, but again, I said,
I don't need a big public ukulele apology.
I know. Thing. I'm not saying that you should. You shouldn't go and like demand an apology or anything. Nux, you would never do that.
I don't want an apology.
That's what I'm saying.
I got the private one. I don't care.
That's what I'm saying.
Here's the thing. I recognize that not everyone is as cynical and stoic as me when it comes to random bullshit online. I am much more into the personal shit than the online shit. Okay?
Yeah.
You don't have any massive behind-the-scenes dramas, for the most part, brewing and shit like that.
I am his massive behind-the-scenes drama.
Dude, you're gonna be such a headache in a couple of years when you stab me in the back.
Oh, but it will be a legendary stabbing in the back. People will speak of it for eons after the fact.
Yeah. And look,
there might be a Hollywood movie.
Decisions that I am not proud of. I think everyone does.
Of course.
We do our best to move forward. We could keep digging up 3-year-old dramas, or we could, have fun on the internet and make fun of other idiots instead of ourselves.
Yeah. Listen.
Look, I'm not trying to win this debate with you because I don't think this is a debate per se.
No, it's not a debate.
You're coming at this from the perspective of an onlooker. I'm coming at this from a perspective of a friend, of somebody in a really bad headspace right now, and that is Muda, not me.
Okay. This is more like...
I was in a bad headspace for a good couple of hours. I was thinking all the worst things. But but right now I'm okay. And I don't think this is as okay. And this is how the
hierarchy is working. This is how the hierarchy is working. You are looking at this as Muda is your friend. You care about him. You've always cared a lot about people, like your friends around you, and how your reputation could hit them. I know, because I'm probably one of the newer quote unquote friends in your like friend circle. And I know from just personal experience how many times you've just talked to me to try to like forewarn me. And I was like, oh, you sweet summer child. I played COD mod lobbies. Like, oh, you're cute. But like, so I know you care. I know you care a lot about your friends, and you're like how you're very self-aware. Here's the other thing. I'm coming at this not from just purely an outsider looking in, but I'm coming at this from your friend. I get it. I do. You're Mutahar's friend, but I'm your friend. And what Mutahar did was brutal. So I'm worried about you. Of course I'm worried about you. I care about you. And you care about Mutahar. So I'm like,
send me an email.
Yes, you need like don't worry. I did send you the text message. But like, so like, no, this isn't a debate. This isn't me trying to bastardize Mutahar, because I still want you to be like, I still want you to care about your friend and everything. And this is not me trying to tell the internet to rise up a fucking pitchfork and do any crazy attacks or anything. Like, I thought Mutahar was a cool person. As you know, I was trying to blackmail you to get onto friggin' Some Ordinary podcast because I thought, like, the dynamic between you, Oompy, and...
By the way, another bombshell, speaking of the Some Ordinary podcast, and I have been silent about this for unironically months. The Some Ordinary podcast ended because of a ownership dispute between Muda and a management company. That is why it ended.
He did talk about that
in his new video, in his Nux hit piece. He brought that up. I never said it because I didn't want to smear Muda. I didn't want to smear the fucking company that he worked with. I didn't want to smear anybody. I was literally not talking about it. But the result of that was people thinking that the podcast was shut down purely because I had a connection with Shadman.
Yeah.
I was so thrown under the bus for that as well. And I didn't talk about it because, well, what am I going to say? I didn't want to throw anyone else under the bus because of the dispute shit. The ownership thing. So I didn't bring anything up, and it ended up months of that festering. You know, Muda said one thing, and then he said the other thing. He did come out to say that is not true, but, like, again, I feel very quick to be thrown under the bus for things.
Well, and that's exactly, like, that's what's pissing me off, because
it's not
like
the first time. I've been thrown under the bus before.
That doesn't make any time okay. Like, you're a human being. Like, and here's the thing that also irks me so fucking much. And again, I don't know fucking Mutahar's life. Like, I have legitimately, because I can usually rationalize stuff and I don't usually get extremely emotional, I've usually become the object of people's backlash, like my friends' backlash, when they're having a really bad day or a really bad week. It's very easy to backlash on me because I'm very much like, yep, tell me how you feel. Like, what's up? Like, and they can let it all out. They can all vent it. And they know that, like, the next day I'm like, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, at the end of the day, I'm like, whatever, let's play a video game. Like, it doesn't matter.
And that's why I picked you to be the co-host of this weekly rant session.
Yeah, I know. It's therapy at this point.
True.
What seriously irks me though, Mutahar, if you're watching this, something that bothers me about what you did too is you completely disregarded the idea that when you were enduring your online hate, you literally made it sound like Nux doesn't endure hate. Like, do you not listen to him? Do you not, like, obviously you don't pay attention to his content. You made that clear in your video. Nux gets a tremendous amount of hate, and a lot of that hate can be easily resolved if Nux didn't care about his friends. Like, you keep so much close to your vest. Trust me, internet, I've tried to pry into all kinds of the Nux drama. Oh, baby.
You don't understand.
I have wanted all the private details.
Mutahar is a much bigger channel than me, which on the one hand is really scary because I thought my career might have been over. I saw that video drop. I thought I might not have a job. That was that was something else that I thought at that time. That was a little stressful. But so when that happened, that was crazy. But also, Muta's much bigger than me. He gets a lot more hate than I do. That's just, I mean, or at least proportionally speaking, that would be true.
Yeah.
I do think I get a very disproportionate amount of hate for my size. Like, I think I have more haters than fans, honestly, because I fucking annoy them so much. Like, I literally. I mean,
but you also have like
videos to be taken out of context, and I'm like, you know.
You have like on the flip side though, you have like okay. Close your ears, comment section. I don't need you guys thinking that I have like a fucking heart or anything. Like, but your community is probably one of the most chill communities. Like, your core community.
Dude, I love them.
Like, I don't ever see them, regardless of all the, like, hate and stuff. Usually, like, when you see somebody getting hate, like, the community is, like, compelled to, like, go to war and all this other stuff. Like, your community is some of the most chill people where they're just like, we don't want to hate on behalf of Nux.
They're so fucking good. They're so good. Like, you don't understand how easily they roll with the punches. Like, when I get canceled for that Jaden thing, like, he reacted to a Jaden Animations video. He's a stalker. Like, my community just started making memes about it. Just being like, very excited for the next video where Nux and Jaden tackle a specific topic. Did Nux and Jaden just finish going to the bathroom? Like, they're gonna, you know, fucking... those are the jokes that they start making.
Yeah.
Like, they play into the fucking memes of it all.
It's amazing because it's like in not any malicious kind of way or anything. They just literally roll with the punches. They have a good time with it.
And
like,
also,
it's
they
not...
could disagree with me. They're not... At least from my perspective, they're not like.
Well, don't give them too much free will. Yeah, don't give them too much.
I don't want them to disagree with me. I want them to be good little tyrannid soldiers, but unfortunately,
there you go.
No, but honestly, and I love this. People do reach out to me every once in a while, like my mods. They'll say that we noticed that like this, we don't agree necessarily, and I'm like, I hear this is my point, and they're like, okay, I see where you're coming from. Like, I literally had this conversation with someone yesterday, where but whatever. So. I really am grateful for my community, and I think Muta has a great community as well, because if they were just a hive mind, they would have all just come for me instead of actually talking rationally. And I think that is a community that will support Mutahar in the future if he decides to, you know, come back to making content and doing his thing.
Oh, absolutely. Like, even, like, seeing, like, I know, obviously, I was, like, laying it on thick with the whole, like, shredding thing, which, I mean, they did. But it was the kind of shredding that was very, very good, because it wasn't just, like, bastardizing him for the sake of bastardizing him.
Right.
A lot of the comments
in the comment section calling him a pedo-Nazi, right?
Yeah, they literally...
The comment sections were, like... It was very, I think, rational criticism in general.
Yeah, they were, it was criticism that stemmed from, like, actually being concerned. Like, literally, when you see somebody do something like that, you're like, hey, dude, like, you crossed a line. Like, it's kind of what I would expect out of my friends, right? Like, I'm unhinged. I'm batshit crazy. Like, the whole clinical list. And
unhinged?
Yeah, I would, sometimes. Once a week, at least. And, like... But it is that kind of, like, reaction I would expect out of, like, my friends or something, where when I do really, really cross the line, like, even for me, they say, hey, listen, like, come back to us. Like, come, like, you really cross the line. And, you know, that's what I want to build my community to be like, too. Like, obviously, I, like, focus on horror gaming and all that other stuff, but I would love to have a community that, you know, we can have fun, we can roll with the punches, because I'm sure people are going to hate me. Like, it's not a big deal in my book, and I don't want my community to be upset or anything over that, but I do want them to hold me accountable, too. Like, if I, you know, do something really fucking stupid, I want them to, you know, feel like they can have a voice in being like, yeah, you know, you really, you know, when I inevitably backstab you, I would like them to be like, either, I would either like them to be like, damn, that was a AAA movie right there, or, you know, hey, maybe you should reel it back, like, that was a little too psychotic, you know?
Yeah,
so I think
the thing is, like, I know that we're discussing this, basically, we were scheduled to record this, like, right after this all happened. I'm sure that all the commentary channels are gonna go, like, make their rounds with this shit. Probably gonna flame both of us, to be honest, because that's
probably
par for the course, I suppose. I mean,
anybody, as you're flaming me, I'd like you to know that I do horror gaming over at my YouTube channel.
No, I meant
anybody
both of us, me and Muta. Like, that's what I meant.
Oh, my bad. Oh, that was kind of narcissistic of me, wasn't it?
But to be honest, whatever. I just, like, it's sad because I'm not planning on making this whole big debunking video for different claims. I know people are going to take Muta's things about, like, the Taiga situation, the Shadman situation, like, at face value, which I don't blame them for. Muta normally very much has his ducks in a row, but, like, these situations were not told honestly and fairly.
Oh, they weren't even like, dude, like, you know, one thing I liked about Muta,
the way it made it seem like Shadman said it's a little too middle school in, like, his response to somebody tagging me, and it made it look like too middle school was talking about, you know, children in his fucking porn, right? Too middle school, that sounds pretty bad, but in actuality, I was too middle school for Shadman, which is why Shadman didn't want to, like, collab with me.
He was,
like,
it was like taking a jab at your mentality or your, like, maturity level.
Like, there were just so many, like, little things that I could sit here and point out and talk about. Like, as I watched the video, I was right. I didn't want to watch it more than once. So as I watched it, like, I wrote down notes
blame you.
on basically everything that I would disagree with, like, as it goes. Like, so if I ever needed to make, like, this big response video, but I don't plan on doing something like that, and I really hope that my audience doesn't take this, because I needed to talk about it, because, like, let's be real here, this is a big situation that people want to know. Dude, my fucking comments and chat and messages and emails are all asking me to cover this stuff. I can't just make believe it didn't happen, but simultaneously, I don't want people
I'm sure you have a lot of friends, too, that are, I mean, I know I was. Like,
but friends reached out to me. I could talk to them in private. It's not a big deal.
That's true.
But there are people that watch me and hear me talk about things. Bro, I'm going to make 10 videos on Mr. Beast. I'm not going to make a fucking video talking about myself when I'm in the hot seat.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And you shouldn't have to, because you don't want to, like, constantly, like, have to keep reliving it over and over again either.
I don't feel... So here's the thing, and I told this to Muta as well. You are not... No one is entitled to your videos. You have no obligation to satiate people, all right? They could say whatever they want. They could do whatever they want. Your videos are free on the internet for anyone that wants them, and you should not feel beholden to other people unless they are... So I told Buddha, I said, listen, when you got married, you and your wife promised to take care of each other. That's a contract, okay?
Yeah.
Fucking idiots on the internet? Like, bro, you owe them nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, well, and you know what? This stems from another thing that I kind of see that kind of makes me really sad. It's actually something that really, really makes me sad. It feels like a lot of content creators get really, really big, and in some really weird circumstance, they forget about all the people that care about them, that show up for all their videos, and then they hyperfixate on the very small number of people that criticize them.
Well, I think that's almost inevitable that if you see 100 comments, okay, 99 of those comments are like, cool video, heart. And one of those comments is, I fucking hate you, you giant Nazi pedo bitch. Obviously, that's the one that's going to stick out in your mind, right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's hard for me to relate on stuff like that. I think I've become so desensitized where, like... I would prefer to focus on all the good things, like all the good people, all the people that show up. It's one of the reasons why I avoid X.
I do that. I have a good time. I I've left Twitter for a while ago. I basically
great choice.
I sometimes go on there if I need to look up specific things. Like
I literally get like my talent manager will literally have to like link me stuff because he knows I'm not looking at Twitter. He knows I tell my community every single day. I'm like, if you want to get my attention, the best thing you can do is show up in my my stream.
You know what I use Twitter for? Like I was on stream and I mentioned that Hassan said that baby settlers are valid military targets. Okay. So Hassan said that, and someone was like, Hassan didn't say that. So then you just go on Twitter, and you type in, Hassan, baby settlers, and then the clip just shows up. Like, that's what I use Twitter for.
Yeah.
Because if anyone is a good compilation of all the most fucked up shit in the universe, it's Twitter.
It's definitely Twitter. Yeah, it's just like, but like, and just, I don't know, man, I just would rather focus on. But it's something that's extremely common, though, where I do see that, where people have these great communities that are always showing up for them, and then like it's like the few people that are talking shit seem to cause these kind of situations. Mutahar obviously has 3 point some fucking million people subscribers, and it's some Redditor that was the domino effect. Like I don't know. Like,
well, it was a culmination of, I guess, a while of people telling him things about associating with me, and it painted him in his perspective of me in a warped light, I think. And I'm glad I got to talk to him now, and I think we do see eye to eye on things, which is nice. And I don't want any hate to go his way or my way, I guess. But
yeah, like nobody legitimately wants hate. Like, can we all? Well, okay. You're right. I shouldn't use the word nobody.
It depends where the hate comes from, okay?
I think the vast majority of people who are just trying to live their day to day are fed up with the hate, man. Like,
true,
they just want to.
You just got to keep seeing it. It's everywhere. Like, how are you going to turn off the hate? It's the only thing that trends literally everywhere.
Turn off fucking social media. Who cares if it trends? Like, what is this thing about trending too? Like, who cares?
I don't care about trend. I mean, just it's the top of your Twitter feed or your Reddit thing or whatever.
Yeah,
like, it's
just
everywhere.
Turn off social media.
Especially really like with politics and with wars going on in the world, with the war in Israel and with the war in Ukraine and there are more wars. There's a civil war in Syria, and then there's a war in Yemen, and there's a war in the Congo. Like, these things are all going on, but you can't even pay attention because there's still other wars that you need to think about first, right? There's the divide in America, in the country, in the politics, right? Canada is in like a bit of a shithole right now when it comes to like housing markets and shit. You know, like it's everywhere. Like it's just there's so much shitty things that happen. I think it really just keeps sucking people into new shitholes to look at.
I think it's draining people. Yeah.
And that's why I personally have decided to, you know, kind of divert my content into a more, look, there's shit happening. You can either cry about it or you could laugh about it. And I'm going to try to make you laugh about it. And I just poke fun at all the weird chaos that happens in the world. That's kind of been my content direction lately. And I've been enjoying doing lore dives, looking into good stories and good things. I feel like that content is more like personal. It's for me. It's like what I like to do. So that's on the main channel on Taku. And
would you say that
is on the second channel? And
would you say that? Would you say that Hermes had influence in you going back into lore diving?
I would argue that you had no influence. Yes, it was cool when you said, I like this content of yours, and then you complimented me for about 20 minutes profusely. I do appreciate a good compliment now and again.
That inspired you to rekindle the flames, to rise the torch of lore dives once again, and thus was born the lore dives on Taku. All because of me.
You think very highly of yourself. Do you know that?
Oh, I do. I look in the mirror every day and there's nobody I see higher than myself. It's actually quite the superpower, actually, because I also do not have a perception of, you know, like power dynamics that happen in people where they like look up and they admire people, or like, you know, they see people like above them and they try to.
9?
What?
Aren't you like
it's more
4'9"?
It's literally 3'9". All right, get it fucking right.
All right.
I'm literally the hat. My lore is literally the hat. I'm literally a tumbleweed. Like what? Yep. I am just a fun-sized ball of narcissism. It's great to be me, honestly.
Well, I wish everyone had the same self-respect that you do.
For myself.
In a much better world if that would be the case.
And, probably definitely not.
To everyone that's watching this, I want you to know that there are real life people that care about you, probably, unless your life is pretty fucking awful, in which case I'm sorry. But there are real life people that care about you. And those people are worth so much more than random fucking idiots that just want to tear you down.
Yes.
That don't care about you. So focus on the people that matter, okay? All right.
And seriously, turn off, take a break, man. Turn off social media if you need to. Put your phone down. Go outside, touch grass, hug a friend, hug a pet. Yeah, well, I wouldn't go as far as to say be a good person.
I quoted this verse to Muta, and I firmly think it's a fucking awesome verse, okay? It's from the Talmud. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna butcher it because it's gonna be in English, not in its original language, but whatever, you'll forgive me.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So, basically, if God is real, then you should try your best to be a pious, good person, so that in the afterlife you'll get all these rewards and stuff, and you're not gonna end up in hell and all that stuff. And if God's not real, well, then you're just a pious, good person. Which I think is a pretty fucking awesome line. That's just.
Oh yeah.
Really good line.
I agree.
In general.
Yeah.
So
I'm not
actually sit here and make believe I am a pious good person. I would like at some point to be a pious good person, and I think I am. I'm trying.
Yeah, you're probably one of the better people I've ever come across. Not gonna lie.
We're cutting that out of the podcast. But on a personal level, I try. On a content level, I obviously have a good time at the expense of fucking losers. Maybe not the most pious thing I could be doing.
I mean,
but,
listen,
whatever.
There's the whole saying about tolerance and intolerance, so if you're tolerant of intolerance, then the intolerance will pretty much win out. So sooner or later, those who are tolerant need to be intolerant of intolerance. Or else,
that's a banger verse bar right there. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I hear you. Listen,
totally.
I put my foot down in places where I think are important, and I honestly, I like my community. I like my content right now, for what it is, and realistically, I'm very grateful for the people in my life that do matter, and my real friends.
Am I one of them?
And
am I one of those people, Nugs?
So
do
anyway,
I matter?
We'll wrap it up here.
Am I one of those? What do you mean?
Episode.
You want to tell me how awesome I am? You want to tell me how you wake up and look into a mirror and you see my smug ass face and you're all like, "Damn, Hermes is amazing."
It's not true.
One day I aspire to be so confident in myself as she is confident in herself.
So I went through a lot this day. I don't know how we always record these podcasts. We have to stop doing this podcast, I think, Hermes, because realistically, next time we're doing this, we're gonna be set to record. We're gonna sit down. Fucking Trump is gonna call me, and I'll be like, "Oh God, how do you one up this? How do you one up this?"
Can we just if this starts? Can I just get a 3-way call in these scenarios?
We're not
can you just be
call?
Come on?
It's not happening. Not happening.
Also,
anyway,
you can definitely not actually cancel the podcast because it's already infected people that during live stream. They noticed that there wasn't a podcast last week. And so you can't deprive the people of what they want most, which is me.
That's
clearly
not what
because
they want most.
I'm pretty sure it is. Because the only thing that's different between normal content and this is me. So clearly the community wants what's different.
I try not to get into too much personal stuff, so hopefully next episode will not be about any of this, and it'll be about misinformation online or something, innocuous like that. I don't know.
I'm trying to have a conversation with him about storytelling and what it's become in modern era, but he keeps dodging it with all these other important fucking issues. Yeah, so I'm trying, guys. I'm trying to push it towards a more relevant.
For Hermes' sake, no one post any hit pieces about me for at least a week.
Yes, please.
Yeah, and also don't send Muta any hate.
Yeah.
I'm saying it again. Okay. It was a bad situation.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll just be in the past. I'm sure the commentary people are just gonna turn this into a whole big thing, but I don't plan on feeding into it anymore. And stay weird, fam. Don't do that sound! God damn!